Okay, your assignment is going to involve odd numbered problems, so that you can be able to check work out in the back of the book. But so we're going to do a couple of even numbers as examples. Number 8 says y equals negative 2x squared. Now you're asked to identify the focus, the directrix, and to sketch the graph. And if I sketch the graph, I mean a detailed graph by hand. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick. First, I'm going to notice whether this is horizontally oriented or is it vertically oriented. This is what we're accustomed to. I could plug this in a calculator the way it is. I know that's going to make it vertically oriented, either upward or downward. So I've got to figure out the p yet. I don't know about that yet. But I am going to pull out the equation that the book says. And the book says that this compares to x squared equals 4py. So what I have to do is move that over onto the other side and think about what that's going to equal. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And that's going to get me x squared equals negative 1/2 y. So now I know that this is equal to 4p. So I'm going to say negative 1/2 is equal to 4p. So wonder what p is equal to. Well, got to divide by 4. 1/2 divided by 4 is going to be 1/8. So p is equal to negative 1/8. Okay, well, drawing that is going to be problematic if I make one space 1 unit. But it is a negative p. So that means that when I start from my vertex, the vertex, by the way, there's no h or k indicated here, so it's going to be 0. 0. Okay, my vertex is at 0, 0, and it's going to open down. And I know that p is this miserably small number, 1/8. So I'm going to make these two spaces stand for 1. It's negative 1, which makes that negative 1/2. Actually, let's make this negative 1/2 instead, because it's going to get really small. And this would be 1/2. And I can do the same thing over here. This is 1/2, and this is negative 1/2. Okay, my vertex is right there. And I'm going to go down 1/8 of a point. So that's negative 1/2. That's negative 1/4. 1/8 would be right there. That's where my focus is. So it's going to open really wide, like that. Okay. The further I draw that point down, the tighter it's going to hug this axis, that focus. All right, and the directrix is exactly the opposite side, exactly the same distance. So this is p. The opposite of p is this direction. So the directrix is going to go right there. I should have done that in a different color. Let me switch to a different color. We'll make it green. That makes it nice and clear. There's my directrix. So the directrix is at y equals 1/8. Okay. So I made a sketch. I've talked about what that equation tells me. I'm done with that one. Okay, so this is number 12. Number 12 says x plus y squared equals 0. So if I solve that so that the y squared's on one side and the x squared's on the other, I'm going to get x equals y squared. Now looking at those 4 forms of the equation that we were looking at before, when the y is squared, oh, that's negative y squared, isn't it? Yep. Let's get that right. Actually, I prefer to say negative x is equal to y squared. Okay. Now, if I look over here at the other equations that are like that, it says y squared equals 4px is the one I'm looking for. Y squared equals 4px. Let me rewrite that. That's y squared equals negative x. So this is going to be horizontally oriented because the y is squared. With the y squared, I have to decide whether it's to the left or the right. P in this case is clearly going to be negative. It's going to open to the left. Okay? So now I know that negative 1 has to be equal to 4p. So what does that make p? P is negative 1/4. So now I know it's horizontally oriented, and I know I've got these really small increments again. So I'm going to make every 2 spaces stand for 1/2. And I know my vertex is still at 0, 0 because I've got no modifiers for the h or the k. And then my p is negative 1/4, so there's my focus right there. My focus is at negative 1/4, 0. Okay, that's the focus. You can use capital F to stand for focus. Okay, and then my line is going to do something like this for my parabola, which means my directrix has to be the same distance, but on the other side of the vertex. So it's right over here. Let's get the color right from the beginning. I'm going to go with red. And this is my directrix. My directrix is got the equation x equals 1/4. And I think I've done everything. Okay, so here's number 14. And on number 14, they've grouped these together for us to make it easier to identify where the vertex is. But I'd really like this to have something equals something squared. So in this case, the y term is going to be squared. So we're going to rewrite this as y minus 1 squared equals the opposite of x plus 5. Okay, now that fits the form of the equation that looks like this. Y minus k quantity squared equals 4p times x minus h. So I'm able to get the vertex very quickly. The vertex is, because they have it written this way, negative 5, 1. Now I have to find out what p is. Well, this is p times 4. So that's actually a negative 1 is understood to be there. So 4p is equal to negative 1, which means p is equal to negative 1/4. Now the fact that the y is being squared tells me that this is horizontally oriented. The fact that p is negative tells me it's opening to the left. Okay, I'm going to need a very small increment again. But negative 5, 1, it's going to be problematic for me if I don't draw that fairly large. So I'm going to have to make a scale of 1 to 1 here. And then I'm going to draw it a little bit further to the right because I'm going to be opening to the left. So most of what I'm doing is over here. Negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's call that negative 4, negative 2. And that's 2 and that's 4. So negative 5, 1 is right there. There's my vertex. Now, p is negative 1/4, so it's not very far that way. Again, this is 1 unit. This is 1 unit. So negative 1/4 is only going to be right about right there. So there's my focus. My focus is at negative 5 1/4, 1. So it's going to open this direction, like that. Which means my directrix has got to be 1/4 of a point the other direction. So it's right there. Which that's going to have the equation x equals negative 4 3/4. So I think I've done everything here. I've drawn the directrix, I've written the equation for the directrix, identified the focus, and identified the vertex. And now I've got a sketch too. And you'll notice the sketch definitely favors the left side of the graph.